Happy Sunday, everyone. This is Corey Strothman from Grace in Your Corner. Today we're going to talk about insecurities and a great sermon that I heard at Resurrection West. But before we get started, a few things to touch upon. It is June now, so that means that Mental Health Awareness Month is over. But please understand, I love it that it's a month long. However, mental health awareness is not just a month. It is a day in, day out thing. So don't think that our mission stops and only goes for 1 month out of the year. It is imperative that the message continues on. Also, I'd like to invite anyone and everyone next Wednesday, June 5th, to join me on the Grace in Your Corner Facebook page for a Facebook Live session. That's just going to be from 7 to 8, a come and go, where I will be talking about life. People that are in there can ask questions, give specific topics, and it's just another way really to connect with people. Again, it'll be a come and go, so if you can only make it for 5 minutes, great. You want to hang out for an hour? I'll be there with you. Back home in Nemaha County, look for my story coming out in the Sabetha Herald this next week, and hopefully we can continue to build awareness in Nemaha County. And I know that there is a lot of need for grace up there with the flooding, so hopefully we can help each other out and get through that. And finally, I do have started to give out t-shirts to people and wristbands. And again, it's not about the apparel, but it's about the message that those bring. Just the daily reminders to you and other people that we all need grace, that judgment needs to be put aside, and as we deal with today, insecurities are not going to take us anywhere. So let's talk about insecurity. Pastor Adam Hamilton from Church of the Resurrection, a lot of this was from his sermon today, so definitely giving him credit where it is due. I thought it was fantastic, and it engaged all people. He had it related to Toy Story this morning, and talking a lot about the insecurities of ourselves and from other people. As you saw, my son just snuck behind the chair. Again, real life situation here. He was beating on a box earlier, so at least you can hear me. But it talks about insecurity, and what insecurity is really it's the fear of being unloved and the fear of rejection. So, and we all have that. In Toy Story, it was when Andy got a new toy, Buzz. Woody was very insecure about being replaced with a new toy. And for us in life, when we have our second child, there's a fear that our first child will feel very insecure about not being the spotlight all the time. In life, whether you have someone else added to your family or at work, if there's a new employee and you might feel insecure that, hey, maybe they are replacing me. Everyone deals with it. Professional athletes, the NFL draft, when new people come in, those athletes are thinking as they get older and older, are they going to be replaced? Is their time up? So insecurities run wild, and that's just a part of human nature, but it makes us really stop and think about how we can handle with those that come up. So let's talk about what can help feed into insecurities. And one of the first things that can show insecurity is if you are a people pleaser. And when I say that you're just always agreeing with what someone's saying. It doesn't matter if it aligns with what you believe in or not. You're just there to say, yeah, I think you're right, or yeah, that makes sense. And you don't really take into account your own feelings. That is something that shows if you just do that with everyone around, what it truly shows is you don't have core values yourself. You are just always being fear of being seen in the wrong, so you're going to go along and agree with everything. And I try to avoid hanging around people that are just always going to feed into my ego. I want people to challenge me. I want people to be able to voice their opinion because I'm not always right. And more often than not, people give me clarity and help me revamp and edit kind of where I was coming from. So make sure that you're holding strong to your core values and not just agreeing with everyone. The second thing is affirmation, and this is where I was when I was with my depression at its finest, is constantly needing that affirmation of people telling me that I was doing a good job. And that gets exhausting for the people around you. Always having to make sure that they are pumping you up for the smallest things. I mean, no one should have to be told good job every 5 minutes in life. Yes, affirmations are great and they're very much needed, but if you find yourself needing to hear that you're doing a great job all the time for even the littlest things, then that is a definite sign of insecurity. The next one is probably the one I see the most and hear the most, and that's talking about other people. All too often in life, we are gossiping about things that are going on in other people's lives, tough situations in other people's lives, and that's normal. I would agree with that, but if you're always involved in those conversations, then what that tells me is you're truly just avoiding the insecurities and the weaknesses that you have yourself. So if you are just trying to deflect attention on yourself, you really need to think about, okay, why am I always gossiping? And if you are involved in those conversations, which I still am, I will admit to that, I always try to chime in and say, I wish the best for that person. Or, I'm sure that there's more going on here that we haven't the slightest clue, so it wouldn't be fair for me to say something that I'm not fully aware of the entire situation. But giving people grace and the benefit of doubt is strong. But if you are deflecting and always talking about other people and the terrible things that they've done, really that shows more insecurity than anything. And the last one with, put your feet down. The last one was talking about a Bible reference, and it was chapter 4 from Genesis when it's talking about Adam and Eve's sons, Cain and Abel. And going through there, and Cain was so insecure about his brother that he would go on to kill him because he wanted the attention from his mom and dad strictly on himself. That is a living example of insecurity. And so what do we do when we're feeling insecurity? And the Bible will tell you that you just need to practice the right thing, even if you don't like it. And in my profession, in my life, there's a lot of times as a principal that I didn't necessarily like what I had to do. Why? Number one, it was a lot more work for myself. And number two, it could be a situation that I've dealt with over and over and over again, and I was just frustrated. Why am I still dealing with this? But I would do the right thing even though I didn't want to. And the Bible will tell you that if you continue to do the right thing over and over, you'll eventually start doing it because it becomes normal. And it's the right thing. And your head can see the clarity that that is what you should be doing. So use that as a principle when dealing with situations. Just doing the right thing, even though it's hard. And trust me, there will be times where it's very hard. And the last one is the most powerful one. Take your insecurities. Identify what your insecurities are. Mine was physical appearances. Thinking people would judge me because I put on weight. I would find myself with low self-esteem and just fearing people judging me at all times. But take those insecurities and know that God wraps His love around all of you. Not just the good things, not just the bad things. Here's a news flash for you. God knows everything that you've done in life. He knows every single little sin that you've done. He knows all the accomplishments that you've done. There's no hiding it from Him. And there's no need to try to hide an insecurity from others. So you need to make sure and just understand, God will be there for you. He is going to love you no matter what. So put your trust in God. And that's what I've done, is I've put my trust in my insecurities in God. I feel comfortable in my own skin. I feel comfortable talking about the flaws that I have in life. And I feel comfortable knowing that other people have them too. And comfortable enough not to judge them. Because I want what's best for everybody. I want everyone to know that they are loved. They don't need to worry about someone else. They can be vulnerable. They can focus on what can better them each and every day. God has wrapped His arms around me. God loves me. God still sees things that I do that I could do differently, but he accepts it, and he's there, and he comforts me. And he will do the same for you. So make sure that you continue to spread God's grace and love on to other people as well. And most of all, every day, every night, know that you are wrapped with God's arms. And it's okay to be insecure, but let's find out a way to fix that and to be open with it so people can help us. So Carrot was just thrown at me for my son. You've seen his head several times. He wanted to be a part of the video. God bless you all. Happy Sunday. And I hope that you can drop by on Wednesday for our Facebook Live. Take care.